apologize in advance if my grammar's a little off. I'm still shaking. I've never really been good at making friends. In high school, I was always that loner who would stay inside during breaks just looking at my phone or on the school computers. Something about talking to people just really puts me on edge. The thought about small talk turns my stomach. This never really bothered me before. I was perfectly content with being alone. I live in a one-bedroom apartment on the second floor of my building. I live in a beautiful city, have an amazing job, and can't really ask much more in my life. I say much more because recently I've been getting pretty lonely. I began watching most stupid rom-coms on Netflix, and even though they're cheesy as hell, I wanted a relationship like that. I just wanted someone to curl up with at night. At least I did. All that changed this morning. I decided since it was a sunny day, I would take a nice walk around the park. I thought I would walk along the shoreline and watch the sun bounce off the water, imagine some pretty girl at my side. And after about an hour, I saw a girl dart her way into the forest. Don't call me creepy, but I decided to follow her in. There was something about her curly hair that I was just drawn to. On my way in, all I could think about was what I was going to say when I caught up to her. I'd never done this before, and I was sweating like a pig by the time I finally managed to reach her. If only I knew. She was standing about 10 feet ahead of me, back turned and completely still. I wasn't sure why she stopped, and it took me about 30 seconds before I managed to squeeze out a few words. Hello there? She didn't respond. Maybe I spoke too quietly. Hey there, I said, puffing my chest out, trying my best to sound confident, but again, no response. It seemed like an eternity passed before I began to turn around. What made me think she would be interesting? As soon as I took a step in the opposite direction, I heard twigs snapping, and I turned my head towards the girl. She was now looking at me. Her face, it was so terrifying. It seemed as though someone was pulling her face on either end. Her lips stretched from ear to ear. Her nose looked like it was split in two. The worst part about her was her eyes. They were widened and bloodshot. They had a grayish hue to them, almost as if they hadn't been closed in a very long time. Her skin was rotted and splitting. The only normal thing about her was her beautiful hair. She was just staring at me, completely still, her eyes locked with mine. My heart rate doubled and my body quivered. I was more frightened in my life than I had ever been. I managed to choke out the only thing going through my mind. Are you okay? This time, I got a response, but it wasn't what I was expecting. She began to walk towards me. I say walk, although it was like nothing I had really ever seen. Her foot shot through the air as fast as your eye could blink, but when it hit the ground, it slowed down. As if her foot had almost hit water. It fucking slowed down. This process repeated until she was directly in front of me. She was far taller than I am, 7 feet tall, probably more. She was still staring. She never blinked, and at that moment I realized that I hadn't either. My eyes burned as I closed them, blurry as they opened. Her face was closer when my vision cleared. Tears began streaming down my face, and my ears rang louder and louder with each passing second. I was paralyzed, my bones ached, my brain felt like it was slamming against my skull. Hours passed, felt like days, weeks even. I must have zoned out because the next thing I knew, she was gone. I exhaled hard and my stomach felt like it was going to empty all of its contents all over my shoe. Think of the worst hangover you've ever had and then add a crippling fear for your life. That's what I was going through. When I attempted to turn around, I realized I was still unable to move. I began shaking as I heard more branches breaking and snapping in the distance. She was running back towards me, and she was in a full stride. Her mouth stretched open, eyes wider than ever, and were locked onto mine. And then I passed out. At least that's what I think happened. I woke up lying on the ground, arm twisted, legs scratched to shit, and my mouth left with a lingering taste of rotting meat. On my way home, I half expected to see her amongst the people in the street, staring into the car, into me. As soon as I got home, I hopped into the shower to hopefully prevent the infection. Next, I brushed my teeth. I did absolutely nothing to wash away the revolting taste. I sat on my bed and flipped through the TV hanging on the wall. May have only been there 5 minutes into the movie Wedding Crashers before my power was cut. I froze and my apartment was silent. The taste in my mouth got stronger. This brings me to where I am now, glaring at my door, waiting for her to come in. I hear her knocking now. Maybe she'll go away. Maybe she'll leave me alone.